is 30, so that's where I'm going to leave it. Once
Chat, what's the word?
or project resolution and the output
What's the word, chat?
recording or live streaming at, then now we're going to choose
We
the
finna,
quality of that. So when I come over here to output,
go ahead and learn some more about this OBS today, man. So let's get it.
You can see it unlocks a lot more control in here. But I'm going to leave this here as simple. But the main settings you want to look at then on this page is, are we going to be live streaming? Are we going to be recording? Are we going to be doing both streaming and recording at the same time? And let's lock down the quality and the settings specific to that task. So
now chat, hold on real quick. Now before we get started, I want y'all to know that I'm going to be going back and forth. But I'm still listening. If y'all got any advice for me, anything, let me know. Anything y'all can help me with, anything, let me know. All right, let's go. Let's get back to it.
In regards to streaming, the main one we want to look at here is our video bitrate. So the quality of that 1080p stream that we've selected. Now this is something that you can do a quick Google search to work out what the best bitrate is for the platform you're going to be streaming to. But as a general rule, the higher the bitrate, the better the quality. There is a point of diminishing returns, but this is also going to be capped by your internet speed as well. So given that I've got decent internet here, I'm going to bump this up. I would recommend something like 5,000 or 5 megabits per second if your internet can handle it. But obviously we can go much, much higher as well. The default settings here for a lot of this stuff is going to be great for most people, again, unless you want to geek out or are you after something specific. So if you are going to be live streaming and you want really high quality music, in which case this setting is fine, or we can actually select here if we want a high quality, indistinguishable, or lossless, which is a tremendously large file size. Again, I'd probably leave this here as same as stream, and this way whatever settings we've set here are going to be the same for our recording. We can also choose the type of file that we're going to be recording as well. So I'm on a Mac. The default here right now is an MOV file, but we obviously have options in here as well for things like MP4 or MPEG-4 files. And if this is going over your head, again, the default settings are probably going to be all you need. Now, if you're going to be setting up to record, then that's all we need to do at this point in settings. If you're going to be streaming though, this is where we can come over here to stream and we can select where it is we're going to be live streaming to, and obviously create that connection to be able to go live. So we can see here the default for us here is YouTube RTMPS. But you've also got things like Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and a lot of others. If we hit show all here, it becomes a really big list. There's lots of different supported places, or we can choose custom and we can enter our own settings here to broadcast to other places as well. But in this case here, I'm going to choose YouTube, and then we can just click here to connect our account. It'll then prompt us to sign in with our YouTube channel. And when that's done, you can see that we've linked it here to a test channel I have. Justin's really super awesome channel, great name, that's ready for live streaming. Once you're done then, you want to hit OK. Now, because I have picked YouTube Live here, we can see we now get this pop-up here where once we go live, we'll see our YouTube chat. It says here, once broadcast has been created, your live chat will appear here and private broadcasts aren't supported. So we've got the chat here that's popped up and we can pick this up, we can move it around, we can dock it here if we'd like, so that we've got a smaller area here for our chat. But then we're also down the bottom here, below this now, was our YouTube Live control panel. So we can sign into our YouTube channel here too in this window, and we can monitor our live stream and start and stop the live stream from YouTube's end, all from within OBS now as well. This is a fairly recent update. We used to have to do that separate. We also have the ability to close these though if we don't want them, and we can bring them back up at any time by coming over here to the menu item for docs, and then we can see which ones we have on and off. So the YouTube Live control panel there is off now, chat is off. We can also turn on stats for when we're live. And we can also enable and disable the rest of these default docks here as well. If you mess this up, you can always come up here and choose reset docks as well, which has definitely saved me a few times. Now that we've got our live stream or recording set up, we now want to go ahead and bring in our cameras, our webcams, screen shares, any of that stuff, the piece that we actually want to broadcast or record. Because as you can see right now, this whole area is blank. So we come down the bottom here and we have this area for scenes. There'll be one scene at a minimum. By default, you need to have at least one. And then we have sources inside of a scene. So let's go ahead here and let's add a source. I want to hit this little plus button down here. And you can see we've got lots of different things that we can add into our scene here. We can just bring in an audio source, like a microphone. We could bring in a web browser, images. We can do a background color if we want. Lots of different stuff. And again, this is a super advanced tool, so we're going to keep this simple. So we're going to come down here to video.
So I'm going to have to rewind this shit. I ain't even been watching nothing. I've been trying to.
One, and I'm going to choose okay, and then we get to choose which camera is webcam 1. So we can pick our device here. You can see all the different ones on this Mac right now. I'm going to choose Insta360 Link. Then we can also adjust the quality of the webcam here at this point too. So it says the preset here is high, medium, or low in terms of quality, or we can actually specify the video resolution again, 1080p, 4K in the case of this webcam because it supports it. I'm going to choose 1080 just so that everything matches with what we've done before. And I'm going to choose OK. So right now we have one scene, and this scene has me full screen here in the webcam. Let's go ahead and add another scene, and let's call this screen. Let's choose OK. And maybe let's rename scene number 1.
I got a lot of work to do, man, so bear with me. If my chat's fucking up, bear with me,
bro. So we have camera and we have screen. So let's go ahead and add our computer screen for screen here. Click the plus for sources. I'm going to choose screen capture. Now, obviously on Windows, it's not going to be called Mac OS screen capture. It will just be screen capture or display capture. So then we can choose, do we want to capture our entire display, a specific window, or a specific application? In this case, I'm going to choose window. I'm then going to pick the window that we want to use. So I've got a Safari tab here open with YouTube. And then I'm going to hit OK. And we've now got our screen here showing in this tab. Now we also have the ability here to resize this. So you can see here it's too big at this point. So we can pick this up, we can drag it around. We've got these handles here on the side that we can shrink this down so that it fits. Maybe something like this. Maybe we'll scroll it up so we don't get all those tabs across the top. Okay, second scene created. So the first one, camera, we click on that. And we're on camera. Scene number 2 is our screen. Then it's just our full screen showing YouTube in this case. Now let's say that we wanted to create a scene which is a mix of both. There's a couple of different, and then I'm going to hit OK. And we've now got our screen here showing in this tab. Now we also have the ability here to resize this. So you can see here it's too big at this point. So we can pick this up, we can drag it around. We've got these handles here on the side that we can shrink this down so that it fits. Maybe something like this. Maybe we'll scroll it up so we don't get all those tabs across the top. Okay, second scene created. So the first one, camera, we click on that and we're on camera. Scene number 2 is our screen. Then it's just our full screen showing YouTube in this case. Now let's say that we wanted to create a scene which is a mix of both. There's a couple of different ways that we could do this, but the easiest way is we've already got this screen 1 set up. Let's duplicate this. Let's right click on this. Let's choose duplicate. Let's give it a name, screen with camera. Let's go OK. So we've got our screen. Make sure we've got this one here, screen with camera selected. We can then hit the plus down here and we can add in our video capture device here. Now we can either add our existing webcam here, or we can bring it in as a second copy of it, a second instance of it. If we just brought in this one here that we've already created and then we made changes to it in our other scene, then that would apply to here too. If we want to create our own settings in this specific scene for that, then I would bring it in as a new camera. So we could call it here webcam 1 because it's still camera 1, but maybe we go V2 in this case. So I'm going to choose OK. Again, we would choose our camera, Insta360 Link. We can choose our quality here. Let's go 1920 by 1080. Let's choose OK. And what we can do now, so that we can see both, is that we can shrink this down. And we can pick it up, we can move it around, we can really customize this up. I'm sure you guys have seen stuff like this before. Now, if we hold down Option or Alt when we are scaling here, you can see we also have the ability to crop. So let's say that we didn't want this whole shot here of me. We can hold down Option or Alt, and we can just crop this down here so that it's just me. And maybe now we'll scale that up, and maybe we'll move me up here in this case. And we've now got this scene created. So we've got our full screen camera, we've got our screen here where we can click and move around and show our computer screen. And we've got a third one here, screen with camera, which is the same, but obviously with me on camera. So you can see how quick and easy these things are to set up, but also when you're recording or when you're live, you can literally just click on these things here to switch between the different scenes. And you can create a bunch of these different scenes to really build out what you want this to look like. Now you can also see that when I switch between the scenes here, there's like a little transition or a fade between them. We can actually change that here. So the default here is for fade over this amount of time, 300 milliseconds. We could actually change it to a direct cut. So it's just going to switch between these without any fade. So again, we can customize this stuff up. And we can also add a bunch of effects to take the customization to the next level. So let's just say we go back to the full camera one here. Let's just right click on webcam and we can choose filters. Now in here, there's audio and video filters and there's effect filters. So we just click on the plus here. Let's have a look at some of the things we could do in here. Chroma key, so green screen to remove the background. Color correction to tweak the colors in this shot.
VidPro's creators post 3 times more videos because they're not editing. You're not behind because of your ideas.
I might have to go back a little bit because
there's cropping, there's masking, there's scrolling, there's sharpening. 16:9, so widescreen aspect ratio.
Start it over, chat. It's only 16 minutes.
No time. So this is what you see when you first open up OBS Studio. Now I'm showing you on the Mac, but the process is pretty much exactly the same on PC. So this area up here is your preview window. This is where we can see what it is that we're live streaming or recording. We've got all of our action controls down here to start and stop streaming, start and stop recording, and configure everything up. Across from that, we've got our transitions and our audio mixer. Now we'll cover these in more detail as we go through. And we can control our different sources and scenes down the bottom here. And this is really where a lot of the customization and setup and stuff comes into play. But the first thing we want to do is get everything set up. So I want to come down here to settings. Now, because OBS is a pretty advanced tool, there's a lot in here. I'm going to run you through the fundamentals, the things that you need to configure up. But I would suggest for those of you, especially if you're feeling a little bit more advanced or you want to really geek out with this stuff, I would suggest that you click through, see what options you have access to in here. And then at some point, you can start to experiment with those things. But the first thing we want to do in here is come over to video and let's set up our project size here, which they call it here our canvas size. So right now I'm set to 3840 by 2160. So 4K, and it's saying here that this is a 16:9, so widescreen aspect ratio. We can customize this up. So if we wanted to switch from 4K to 1080, then we can pick here 1920 by 1080, and you can see that we've still kept that aspect ratio here of 16:9. If we wanted to instead go live in portrait or record a portrait video, we could flip this. So we could go 1080 by 1920. And we've now got 9:16 as our aspect ratio, so portrait. But I'm going to switch this back here to widescreen. And so we've got our base canvas resolution, which is the actual project file.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that's why chat. I'm gonna restart my chat. I'm gonna restart it. I gotta rechange some shit. I overdid it when I did this. Yep. Hold on, chat. I'll be right back. Gotta stop stream.